Hi, good morning, everybody. I want to thank everybody so much for being here. I want to begin by expressing my deep appreciation to the Rosen Hotels for opening their doors and allowing us to host this event in a place that meant so much to Mr. Rosen himself. I also want to thank Senator Arrington's office for sponsoring the bill in the Senate and my co-prime sponsor, Representative Marie Woodson, whose partnership ensured that we were able to get this bill across the finish line. And of course, I want to thank the Orange County Commission and Mayor Demings for passing the resolution that made it possible for us to stand here today. A few years ago, I had the honor of meeting Mr. Rosen, and I can say something that very few people get to say. He exceeded every extraordinary thing I had ever read about him, and that is very remarkable because the stories about him were already very extraordinary. I still remember back a few years ago seeing a meme online about Mr. Rosen and what he had done in Tangelo Park. The story felt impossible, almost too good to be true. So when I went looking for the facts, what I found was that every word of it was true. The incredible man had transformed an entire community through what became the Tangelo Park program, a program he founded and funded to overhaul the neighborhood, provide free preschool, and guarantee college education to its residents. Graduation rates soared in that community. That community was changed, and it happened because Harris Rosen believed that every child deserves opportunity. He established a $2.5 million scholarship endowment at the University of Central Florida. He founded the Rosen Family Foundation to focus on financial literacy for families. He contributed $3.5 million to the construction of a new Jewish community center in Orlando. For more than 2 decades, he supported Canine Companions, helping raise over $11 million to provide services for dogs for people with disabilities. And his company, Rosen Hotels and Resorts, became one of the first in the industry to provide free health care to all its employees. When his son Adam passed away, Mr. Rosen transformed grief into purpose. He became a major donor to cancer research through the Adam Michael Rosen Neuro-Oncology Laboratories at the University of Florida, named in his son's honor. His contributions continue to support groundbreaking research that may save countless lives. Excuse me. But beyond his philanthropy and accomplishments, there was something simple yet powerful about the way he treated people. And this is what I find so remarkable about him. Regardless of if you were a C-suite employee or just somebody he met on the street, he treated everybody with kindness, dignity, and respect. And that is why we were able to pass this road designation with no opposition. Everybody said yes. He often built bridges where people felt divided, and especially remarkable in today's world. Everyone he spoke with, regardless of party background, admired Harris Rosen. His impact transcended policies. His legacy belongs to us all. This road designation is just one small gesture, one way to ensure that future generations know his name, understand what he stood for, and see the power of what can happen when one person dedicates their heart to lifting others up. To the Rosen family, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sharing your father with us. We appreciate you, and we are very grateful that you chose to share this extraordinary man with the world. I am now going to unveil the road designation sign. If anybody wants to help me, Senator. Oh, Senator Aaron is in there. And now I have another distinct honor, and that is introducing our next speaker, Mayor Jerry Demings.
All right, good morning to all of you. It's a good day to have a good day here in Orange County, and we've already started this day out with the recognition of Mr. Rosen and the Rosen Hotels. We just left a philanthropy breakfast for the Association of Fundraising Professionals, and the CEO and president now, Mr. Frank Santos, was there to receive some recognition from that organization for what the Rosens have meant to our entire community and perhaps our entire state. I want to also thank our primary bill sponsors, Senator Arrington, Representative Harris, and Representative Woodson, for their tireless efforts in Tallahassee to make this dedication possible. I also want to thank the Rosen family and the entire Rosen team and staff for the work that you do every day. On September 30th of this year, the Board of County Commissioners approved and executed a resolution designating a portion of International Drive roadway in honor of the late Harris Rosen and affirmed its support for the state's honorary designation. We will cherish the legacy, the life of Harris Rosen, a visionary who transformed the hospitality industry. We recognize the remarkable history and iconic brand of Rosen Hotels and Resorts and the founding president and chief operating officer, Harris Rosen himself. We also recognize his unwavering generosity. He was a man I admired and respected for his support of law enforcement and his profound commitment to giving back to the community. This commitment is evident in the Tangelo Park program, a comprehensive initiative aimed at breaking the cycle of poverty through education. Harris Rosen transformed lives by funding preschool programs and offering full college scholarships to eligible high school graduates. Today's road dedication is one way to recognize Harris Rosen, the business leader who had a tremendous impact on International Drive in the hospitality and tourism industry, and the generous philanthropist who uplifted thousands of families. I've seen it with my own eyes. I felt it. As a young law enforcement officer assigned here to the International Drive area, as a sergeant, I go back to the days of remembering when Harris Rosen donated a police motorcycle for us to help enforce the laws here. I got to ride that motorcycle. He donated a horse. I got to ride that horse. Not well sometimes, but Harris Rosen said, we're providing this because we want you to provide some additional service here on the International Drive. When people travel on Harris Rosen Way, I hope they remember a man who not only built magnificent hotels and resorts, but also provided opportunities and hope to those in our community who were underserved, who were in need of additional education, housing, jobs. So on behalf of the 1.5 million people who call Orange County home, I say on behalf of our Board of County Commission, thank you to Harris Rosen and to this team. We thank you for the work that you will continue to do in our community to make the world a better place. God bless. All right, and now it is truly my honor to introduce the next speaker who is coming up. One of the Rosen clan, Joshua Rosen, is coming up. Thank you all. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you for that introduction. I did not know I was next. And thank you to everyone who has come out today. Beautiful day to share it all with you. I'd like to start by paraphrasing the words of Frank Sinatra, whose music Dad loved dearly. And no, I won't be singing it. You're welcome. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows, as of this day, that Harris Rosen did it his way. Street names can be used to convey many different things. For instance, there are many streets around Orlando that indicate your geographic location, like North Eola Drive, where you find yourself north of Orlando's most famous sinkhole, Lake Eola. So too does Harris Rosen Way seem to indicate that here you are at the center, maybe a pun, of the Rosen verse. Some street names tell of their own specific history, like Curry Ford, where once pioneers were forced to ford the Curry River along their trek through Central Florida. Again, the same can be said to be accomplished in Harris Rosen Way, where once citrus groves and Martin Marietta land gave way to all that you see here today, heavily guided by the hands of Harris Rosen himself. Other roads sing the praises of great individuals, like Dr. Phillips, whose charitable foundation still does so much for the city to this day, and Dad, no doubt, is also known for his myriad acts of kindness. Still, with all that said, my favorite interpretation of Harris Rosen Way is, and what I believe Dad would want everyone's takeaway from it to be, is not a boast, but a call to action. Not necessarily to do things exactly the way that Dad would have, but a reminder that here in America, where anything is possible, that when your head and your heart are in alignment, telling you there has got to be a better way, even when everyone and everything else seems to be against you, to trust in yourself and to do it your way. Thank you again, everyone who helped make this possible, this incredible honor and this monumental inspiration for generations to come. Thank you. Please welcome Michael Scott to the stage. Odin.
So, you heard Representative Harris. I'm a little overwhelmed. I should have wrote what I was going to say. I mean, I know what I wanted to say, and I usually write it so I won't be like ugly crying or something. But you heard what Representative Harris said. She said it was unanimous. There are very few things in today's world where it's unanimous. When you think about Mr. Rosen, at least for me, you think about family. You think about neighbors. You think about community. I met Mr. Rosen in 2011, and if you've been in my office or you've read the Sentinel, Commissioner receives scrutiny, I'll always receive scrutiny from Mr. Rosen because he receives scrutiny for everybody. He made a path. Like when you talk about Harris Rosen Way, who makes a way for the waymakers? Harris Rosen did and does. When you talk about the challenges that people face for health care, you work for Rosen, you don't have those challenges because I want to make sure. And so when I think about Mr. Rosen in this way, it is a change maker, a leader well before his time who not only made opportunities for so many people, made opportunities for you and a pathway through those opportunities and for growth. I am from the Tangelo community, as is our clerk of court, Tiffany Moore Russell, and we are examples of what it means when you invest in your neighbors, when you love your neighbors, when you ask your neighbors, are you okay? What can I do to help you? And so I have such a mix of emotions, but I think the most important one is happiness, because we too often focus on what we lost and sometimes forget that we had a dad, we had a granddad, we had a coworker. Whatever you called Mr. Rosen, he was a waymaker and he was a hero. And so I am just so grateful just to be here with my colleagues, my friends, my neighbors, my community, and you all, just to celebrate a great man. We don't see a lot of great men before their time who paved the way for so many other people. And so, Josh, bro, you already know. I just thank you for everyone who voted yes, who promoted this, who shared this, and who everyone is going to travel Harris Rosen Way. And with that, I have the honor of introducing Representative Woodson. Oh, I'm about to cry. Goodness.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Orlando today because we are here to celebrate a man that I'm about to talk about. But before I do that, I would like to thank my colleague, my sister, actually my two sisters, because one of them used to serve with me in the state legislature, and now she's a senator. And I would tell you, and Representative Harris and Senator Harrington, you have a family in the state legislature. You have a sister, you have a fighter, you have everything that you can imagine. So thank you for carrying this bill with me to allow me to be part of this bill. And I truly appreciate it. And I don't want to neglect my other colleague, Representative Alvarez, who served also in the state legislature with us. So to the Rosen family, I thank you so much for sharing your father, your friend, for sharing him with all of us, not just in Orlando, but in the state of Florida, in the country, because even Oprah Winfrey had him to come on the show. And I bet you're wondering, how did I know Mr. Rosen? I will tell you my story. I was a former public administrator for Miami-Dade County, and I was here at a conference. I stayed at one of his hotels, the one that I'm staying here today, because I was in Tallahassee yesterday morning. We had a committee, and I drove here with my husband to be here, because this is too important for me to miss today. So while I was at this hotel, I was sitting in the lobby reading a magazine, and this man came out of nowhere and started talking to me. And I was like, who is this man? I thought he was just a guest at the hotel. And he started talking, asking me a lot of questions about myself, and I'm like, come on, man, I'm reading my magazine. Then he said, how are you being treated at the hotel? And I look at him, I'm like, is he Harris Rosen? Because I remember looking at the magazine in my room, and his face looked familiar. I said, are you Mr. Rosen? He looked and smiled. He didn't say anything. And we started talking. I'm like, I am so in awe in your presence. He said, no, it's me. I'm grateful for you being here at this hotel. So we started talking, and I remember reading about everything that he has done in this community. And we talk like we were two friends, and I'm like, this man is the owner of this hotel. So when we talk about the community that he adopted in this area, I said, you know what? Miami-Dade County needs something like that. He said, well, you have so many people who can do what I'm doing in Miami-Dade County. The man sat a meeting with one of the people in Miami-Dade County who could have done a lot more than what Mr. Rosen did. Just for us to start talking, how can we start a program like this in Miami-Dade County? And you know what? The person said, I cannot do it. The person said, nope, they couldn't do it. What Mr. Rosen is doing in Orlando. And this is someone who is a billionaire. And I'm telling you all that to say, there's no two Harris Rosen. He is unique. He's a man who really took everything that he had to the next level. I wrote something, but I just wanted to tell you the story, how much he has given to Orlando, to the state of Florida, and to the United States of America. Unveiling the sign today is not really a sign unveiling. It's a lot more than that. It's a legacy of a man who truly cares about every single human being. My challenge to you today, what are you doing to make the world a better place? What are you doing? I challenge you to be a mini Harris Rosen. And a mini Harris Rosen in the sense you need to challenge yourself to greater heights. A mini Harris Rosen, when you make it, take another one along with you. Because that's what he did, and that's what he had done throughout his life on this earth. Thank you so much to my colleagues. Thank you to the family. And thank you to every single one of you here. Take this challenge and make the world a better place. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Senator Kristen Arrington, and I'm proud to represent this area and sponsor this legislation with Representative Rita Harris. First off, I do want to thank Rep. Harris because she brought this forward. She has represented this area and had a great relationship with Mr. Rosen and Frank and everyone from his team over the years. And so, as it was mentioned, it was really easy to get across the finish line this session. And there's probably not many things that we can say that about where the House and the Senate agreed this last year. But each committee that I was able to present this bill in, which I was honored to do, and read about Mr. Rosen and read his biography, everyone in the committee already knew about him, and many would add more. We would talk about his investments in Paramore and Tangelo, his health clinic for his employees, his investments in brain cancer research, and his investments in the UCF Rosen Hospitality Management School. But someone would always speak up more, talk about him being a veteran, or mention the fact that when hurricanes came and natural disasters, everyone knew that they had a place to come, that it was a reasonable rate, and you could bring your pets. If you're a pet lover like me, in a storm or in a situation, it is great to know that they were doing that every single time. And he did so many little things like that that you don't even read about. And that's why I love that we're going to be able to show everyone and have his name up here so residents and also our visitors can see Harris Rosen Way when they drive. If you're in a car and you see a street name and you don't know who it is, you might ask someone else in the car. So our visitors will look up, they'll read his wonderful biography, just like Representative Harris said, and read it and be amazed and inspired by his business, but also his philanthropy and his servant heart. I can probably join everyone in saying he is one of a kind and that they just don't make him like this anymore. So we really want to thank you, Josh, as we've all said, for sharing your father with us, for your entire family, for Frank and his work team for sharing him with us, and then also continuing his legacy, his work, his philanthropy, so we can all continue to beam and talk with pride about one of our locals here and all the good work that he has done. So thank you all for coming today. I mean, it's a Friday morning, the week before Thanksgiving, and look how many people that we have at front and present that want to celebrate and rejoice and remember this great man. I would like to ask now Representative Harris, Josh, and the family to come up so we can do the ceremonial sign presentation.
This is for you to take with you. Everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, look at them. Look at them.